Today we're talking about the Police Academy films. This is a comedy series that began in 1984, and it was really popular back in its day. There are some really funny entries in this franchise, and some not so funny ones. So I figured without further ado, I'd give you my opinion on the franchise by ranking them from worst to best. Coming in at number 7 would have to be Police Academy 7, Mission to Moscow. This film is a far cry from its counterparts, and is just basically a Police Academy movie in name only. Most of the cast is gone at this point. Bubba Smith does not return as Hightower. Hooks is no longer in the film either. Ackler's not in the film, and several other side characters just don't return to this film. It only has 5 of the originals in there, and honestly, I can't blame anyone for not showing up for this pile of shit. It's the worst of the series, extremely unfunny. I did give it a chance. It does star Ron Perlman, from Sons of Anarchy and Hellboy fame. But apart from that, there's nothing about this film that's really memorable. And even Ron Perlman seems like he's phoning it in. A bad film through and through. It was filmed in Russia, which I guess is a little bit interesting. But other than that, and having the Police Academy theme, avoid this thing at all costs. Coming at number 6 is Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach. The first in the series to not star Steve Guttenberg. Instead, he's replaced by Sard's nephew, Nick, played by Matt McCoy. He's not the same character, mind you, but he's meant to be something of a replacement for Mahoney. Mahoney was the main character in the first 4 films, played by Steve Guttenberg, and he pretty much was the straight man to everyone else's funny man. He himself was still funny like everyone else, but he played it more serious than all the other characters. And thus, his absence is really missed in this film. Yes, the new character also plays a straight man as well, but doesn't do nearly as good of a job. And the plot is just about them going to Miami Beach to stop a diamond thief. It's just not that funny. There are a couple of chuckle-worthy moments in the film, but for the most part, just pretty forgettable and not one that I really recommend. In 5th place, we have Police Academy 6, City Under Siege. This is definitely the best of the non-Guttenberg films. I do actually enjoy Police Academy 6, and I actually am rather nostalgic for it. I basically grew up watching this one with my sister and my brother. We had this film on VHS back in the day, and we watched it a lot. There are some really funny gags here. Michael Winslow is really giving it his all with his noises that he makes. And while the film is definitely cartoonish and obviously geared towards kids, it is actually a really funny entry, I think. And while it is kind of stupid, it's fun stupid. I can't hate this movie, and overall I do enjoy Police Academy 6. Coming in at number 4 is Police Academy 3, Back in Training. Despite the series being called Police Academy, only about half the movies actually take place at the Police Academy. And this is the first one where they return to the Police Academy to train some new recruits, and also try to stop criminals towards the end of the film as well. It's a funny little entry, but it's definitely the worst of the Guttenberg films in my opinion. It's funny. It's cool to see, Fackler's wife try to join the force, and that's kind of interesting, but there's not a whole lot in this one that really makes it stick out. Not a bad entry, but overall, this one still had some laughs in it, and I do enjoy it for what it is. Coming in at number 3 is Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. This was a rather interesting entry, and I think everyone's firing on full cylinders here. This is the first time we see Harris return after his absence in 2 and 3, and returning is a nice welcome to the fresh series. I do actually rather enjoy this one. It actually stars David Spade as a skateboarding punk who basically joins the police force. And it even has Tony Hawk doing some of his skateboarding stunts. Overall, this is a fun entry that actually sees Sharon Stone as Mahoney's love interest. Kind of interesting to see her so early on in her career. And it's kind of crazy to believe that before Basic Instinct and Total Recall, she was hanging out with the Police Academy crew. All in all, an entertaining film, and I highly recommend it. Coming in at number 2 is Police Academy 2, Their First Assignment. This film basically shows the crew right out of the academy taking on their first major assignment, just taking down this gang led by comedian actor Bobcat Goldthwait. Really entertaining, really stupid, really silly, and the only PG-13 entry in the franchise. After 2, they were all PG, and the first one was rated R. But honestly, this one still has some of the edge of the first film, and I actually rather enjoy it. It's cool to see them actually act as cops, and this is the last one that, like I said, had any sort of edge to it. After this, they all became more or less kind of more kid-friendly films, and they're all PG. But this was the first PG-13 one, and it does have some of that edge, like I said. I do enjoy this one. I think that the acting is pretty good this time around. The comedy hits pretty well. There are some duds, and some of the comedy can be a little bit cringy, but for the most part, it's an enjoyable film. A solid sequel and one that I highly recommend. But you can't beat the original 1984's Police Academy. This film stars Steve Guttenberg as Mahoney, a young guy whose life is kind of aimless, and to avoid going to prison, he joins the police academy. This film is hilarious. Everyone in this movie is firing on all cylinders. Boba Smith is great as Hightower. David Graff is great as the gun-loving Tackleberry. D.W. Bailey is also really awesome as Harris, the foil to Mahoney. Leslie Easterbrook is great as Callahan, the aggressive and sensual police officer who helps get these cadets ready for service. And of course, Michael Winslow is great as the sound effect making goofball Jones. All in all, it's just a really funny movie that I think can never really be topped. All these films, range from decent to just plain bad. But Police Academy 1 is a true classic, and I recommend it to anybody who wants to laugh and have a good time. I love this film. I grew up with it. It's one of my absolute favorite comedy movies, and you can never beat the original Police Academy. Well, that's my list. I know these films aren't as popular as many other comedy franchises of the 80s, but I really do have a soft spot in my heart for the Police Academy franchise. I hope that one day we do get another film, and Steve Guttenberg has even said that they were in the process of making one, but I haven't heard anything new about that happening. But all in all, if it does happen, I'm looking forward to it. Also, if you want to get the films on Blu-ray, I highly recommend this set. It is a foreign set, as you can see, the 15 plus rating instead of R, but it works on American Blu-ray players. I don't know why we never had this film officially released in America, but like I said, this set is region-free and will work on your American players. So if you want to see the films in high def, I do recommend this set. Lots of cool special features. The picture quality is nice. You can't go wrong with this set. I thank you all for watching. I appreciate all my viewers, and peace out.